boys! Today I'm going to talk about Urgot on 13.11 and how the items have changed Urgot's build paths and how they're, generally speaking, what's best on him build path wise and matchups. So to start off on screen right now, you'll be seeing the Urgot item tier list. Jack Show has had a little bit of a hit. It used to be S+ tier, kind of a core Urgot item, but Jack Show always felt like rather awkward. Jack Show only really works against team comps that have like slow DPS. So if the enemy team can't kill you quick, that's when Jack Show is enabled. Hullbreaker has made his way up to the A+ tier. Hullbreaker is verging on S. It's definitely a high contender for like the S tier. Redemption has made his way into like majority of my builds right now. I think Redemption is really slept on technology. So if you're playing Urgot and not building Redemption, you should definitely try it out. I'll talk about the build paths in just a couple seconds. Sterak's should be built every single game. Sterak's is very broken. Maw is still good against Mordekaiser and Gwen, but it does lock you out of Sterak's, so it's more so if they have Mordekaiser, Gwen specifically, you rush more into them and it's an auto-win matchup. Radiant Virtue is now one of the best mythics. Youmuu's is getting nerfed this patch, but the nerfs don't hurt Urgot. It's getting lethality out of combat reduced. It's getting the momentum you build out of combat reduced for the passive lethality stacks, but Urgot doesn't care about that. Urgot cares about the movement speed and the lethality, and that's it, right? So Youmuu's still completely fine. Nothing's really changed with it. Maybe it would hurt you in like one niche scenario out of like 100, but it's literally running for Urgots. Thornmail is on its way of going down. Thornmail, I don't think it should be considered like a core item, but I think if you're looking for like anti-heal and you have like a more tanky build, like one of the builds you can do is BC Radiant Redemption, then you can end up with Thornmail, and you just end up being Soraka. You deny all their hate and healing, and you heal everyone, right? You go, BAM! Redemption! BAM! Thornmail! No healing for you! Boom! But you still kick people's heads in because you have Black Cleaver, right? So, Thornmail, I think, is going to the B tier, but it's still like a good situational item if you're going for like a defensive tank build. And Trinity Force. Trinity Force came out with a D tier to a C tier. I don't think the item's good. I don't think Eclipse is good, but, you know, it's there if you want to build it. So, build paths. These are currently the best build paths available for Urgot. Starting with the S tier, the best build path available right now for Urgot is Black Cleaver into Youmuu's, then Sterak's. After Black Cleaver, Youmuu's, Sterak's, then you want to build into something like Hullbreaker. If you want to play for Split, if you want to start grouping up your teammates, then you can maybe look for something more like Gargoyles for like 4th item. You have sort of shielding, etc, etc. It most so depends on the team probably going, but generally speaking, every team you can build BC Youmuu's Sterak's into. This gives you versatility of going into side lanes. This also gives you the versatility of team fighting. But Sterak's is pretty broken. As I said, Sterak's should be in like majority of every single build you're building right now. Sterak's S+ tier item, build it. The next S+ tier build is Black Cleaver, Radiant Virtue, Redemption. This is when you don't matter as an individual. Black Cleaver, Radiant, Redemption is like, oh, my ADC is 10-0. What can I do to help her, right? So let's say they have a Kayn, let's say they have an Assassin, Talon, someone looking on your backline. You activate your ult, not to execute someone per se, it's just a bonus effect if you actually get to execute someone. You just use your ults to activate Radiant, and then Radiant will heal your ADC for about 500, right? In like one team fight, which is huge. Redemption is also a very broken item. You can do BC Redemption Radiant, or BC either way, you know, it's still good. It's an anti-burst item. It wins team fights. You can use it from a side lane, right? So like, let's say you're top lane right now, and your ADC is about to get picked. They have shield bow, so you know my Redemption will activate in time. Redemption does 10% of their max HP as true damage to enemies, and it also heals your allies about 350, right? So the max value you can get from one cast on Radiant is probably about 1,800 healing and about 2,500 damage from one cast. That's the max potential. The minimum potential in this item is about 100, 200 damage and 350 healing, which is still good. So the way I want you to think about Redemption is, imagine you're playing Urgot with Ignite and Heal, right? It just happens after a small delay. But once you get used to that small delay, it's you know. One of the tricks you can do Redemption is if you ease someone, immediately drop the Redemption down on yourself, right? So if they don't have a flash and dash, they can't get out of the Redemption AoE, and they're going to take about 200 to 250 damage from Redemption while healing you for about 300, right? So Urgot E, drop the Redemption, and then they can't get out of that AoE without dash and flash, right? Or some characters who aren't like movement impaired can get out with flash. Burning flash for Redemption, 90-second cooldown, absolutely worth. The next build path is Black Cleaver, Sterak's, then Even Shroud. The idea of this build is you can do whatever the hell you want. It's basically like a tankier Youmuu's version, right? You're slower, but you're tankier. If you go in a side lane, it's fine, because you have Even Shroud, it activates AoE passive damage. If you go into a team fight, if they immobilize you, the enemy team starts taking more damage, right? Even Shroud is a very broken item that is most likely going to get nerfed soon. So try build this item when you're not really sure of like, should I itemize this, itemize that. Evil Shroud is a comfort item you can build in like pretty much every game, right? And now we'll move on to the A tier. Why would you build something in the A tier over the S tier? Good question, Urpog. I'm glad I just thought of it. A tier is like more situational tech of like, this isn't the best you can do, but like if the lobby enables it, then it's fine, right? So let's say you're like 5-0 on top lane, you go Black Cleaver into Hullbreaker, you go in the side lane, now you have too much resistances for them to deal with you, right? So look to go Hullbreaker second if you're getting camped, like Diana, Mordekaiser, if they can camp you, you'll have more Black Cleaver, Hullbreaker, and you just win, right? Obviously you go more first, if there's a Mordekaiser, Diana, you always want to be building more whenever it's enabled. Then you just round it out with Yomus and Sterak's. Jack Show also in the A tier because Jack Show is just like more situational than it is core. You go BC Sterak's Jack Show, but you can also do BC Jack Show Sterak's. Jack Show is more situational because it only works against slow DPS teams. If you're against Victor and other team comps like that do quick DPS, you don't want to play Jack Show. You'd rather play Radiant and like Anti-Burst or like even Shroud, right? But generally speaking, look to build Jack Show less. Jack Show is definitely falling out of favor. If they have slow DPS, go Jack Show. No slow DPS, look for something else. The next build path, which is one of my more personal cooking experiments, is Black Cleaver, Redemption, Hullbreaker, Yomus, right? You can also do Hullbreaker, then Redemption, but the general idea is you go in a side lane, and then like the enemy is going to be like sending multiple people to you, and you want to like live as long as possible, kill one for one, absorb as much time pressure as possible. You go Black Cleaver, you get Redemption, they dogpile on you, you drop Redemption on yourself, you fear them, maybe you get 1 or 2 people, right? So this is more of like this severe like split push build. Even Redemption on the side lane helps your team because if you go side lane and then team fighting, you drop the Redemption down on the side lane, you end up doing about 1,000 damage, 1,000 healing, right? While not even being in a team fight. So if you're going for a more severe like split push playstyle, that's also pretty good. The B tier. This is the very situational tier, right? This is Hullbreaker start, but it's very specific when you do this, right? This start is when you're against Ornn, Malphite, Shen, and they're running Grasp. So the idea is you run Grasp, you start the game with Cole, and you buy no potion, right? The goal with this lane is to get to Phage as fast as possible while greeting for Cole. So against Malphite and Maokai and Shen, I'm running Grasp. I'll flash the rune page I use against these champions on screen now, so you know what I'm taking. But the general idea is, I can't kill them, they can't kill me. How do I get value? I Grasp them, right? So then I'll rush into Phage, I have Cole healing, Grasp healing, Phage healing, I can now no longer die, right? So it removes all the threat from the lane, and against Shen, he's obviously wanting to leave the lane, right? So I go Hullbreaker just to immediately damage his tower, and because I'm not going to match his TPs, I'm playing for lanes, I'm playing for side lane, right? But Shen is playing for his teammates. So that's one way I can impact the game when Shen's like being global, right? And the other items in the B tier are just Strikebreaker and Gore Drinker. These are fun items. These are items you can build with competitive viability, but there's no real reason to do either of these items. Gore Drinker, I definitely think is slept on, so I would definitely look to build Gore Drinker like semi-actively. 100% Gore Drinker is viable, maybe even A tier potential, but I need to do more testing with it personally. So this is more me telling you this item is good. And that is my item rundown. For matchups, I'll take you to my matchup section here. Here is my matchup rundown for 13.11. If you want to see this image in like higher res or like whatever, you want more time to look at it, you can go to my Twitter, which will be in the description. I'll give you all links to all resources of these images in the description. I do actively post on Twitter like balance updates with Urgot, what item changes are happening, my personal progress and how I'm liking the meta and stuff like that, my personal opinions. So if you want more in-depth opinions on these matchups, you can just follow me on Twitch, which I'm live right now. You can ask me questions about this matchup, how do I deal with this matchup. I'll also link you my matchup video, which is about an hour and 10 minutes long. But in the description, there'll be, oh, here's how you play this matchup, this matchup, this matchup. But some of that information is outdated because it was made when Prowler still had his stash, right? But if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment. If you struggle with any matchup, any build path, any itemization, I'm always happy to answer comments. So, open up, boys. 07s! Bad clap. The clap is important. The clap introduced you to the video. It needs to be bassy. Bassy clap. You need a bassy clap. Nope, bad clap, bad clap. The clap has to be good. The clap is a good video. Nope. It's clapping through at this point. You guys don't understand. The clap is like half the video. Oh shit. Wait. Lick the palms. Oh yeah, put spit on your hands. Oh, now we're cooking. All right. boys! Today I'm going to talk about 11... I had a good clap.
Damn, is that the Urpog merch? Did not go down like that.
Have you guys found the hidden mage got from this video? If yes, write a comment down below.